I soldered everything. You will see I've tinted this. I say everything underneath the nuts. Obviously, I'm not going to solder there. But over here, I didn't just use a clamping tool. I didn't use a clamping tool at all, actually. I just soldered it over there and over there and over there inside, not underneath the nuts, obviously, okay, because I want to be able to loosen this if there's a problem. Now, corrosion can take place over there, but if you solder that, then you have, well, I consider that as a bigger problem, okay, but you want to solder everything unless your boat is, I don't know how far from the sea or something, that can also be. Then let's start with the most important. You only want power on the, okay, so yeah, let's say this as well. There's now my positive over there that I've connected to the light over here, negative, no, negative over there, that's correct. Connected the light over there. So yeah, the thing is, over here, you only want to give it power when you've got the ignition on, right? And a place to get this ignition from is over here. If you look over here on your armature, uh, then you will see there's a wire over here. That is to, I think they call it energize the coils. Okay, so what you have inside is electromagnets instead of solid or permanent magnets. So what happens is you have to energize them. You have to give this thing power or electricity before it generates electricity. Okay, yeah, that's just the way it works in any case. This is where you have to connect the ignition to this in any case. I've done this, and afterwards, there's this mechanic at church that said, yeah, but you just have to remember about the fuse. And I said, oh, I've forgotten about the fuse, so I still have to do that. And this is where this comes in. This is a fuse holder. Inside of it is a fuse. And obviously, you want to connect your little device on the secondary of this. I must confess, I'm concerned with the thickness of this wire. I think it might be too thin. What I can say is, yeah, it will burn out with a very minimal amount of current, so it will not be able to do real damage if there's a problem. Okay, so that's the advantage. Yeah, let's be positive. Okay, the rest of the wires I don't have a problem with. So I'm going to basically insert this. I'm going to insert over here. Where is this now? Over here on this wire. Okay, and also this side is going to be on the far side of the switch. So this is, let's say, going to the switch over here. This is going to the switch that side, and this is going into the armature. So that is now the plan. Let's put all of this together and see if it works. Something else I just have to mention. I just placed it over there so that I know where it has to go and stuff like this. It's not to give it a negative over here. That's not really needed. Okay. So this is just, I am going to connect this to the negative though, but it has to be connected there. That has to be connected to the negative. And also I suggest you use the point that's closest to you for the negative. Even if you look over here, these bolts are all or should be connected to negative. Everything, this whole engine should be connected to negative. And so your negative is a common. And so you can just connect it anywhere, or that's how it's supposed to be. And then it should work. That is why I suggest, try to keep the negative wires short and thick. That's what I recommend, because they have to carry a lot of current, because they are now giving current to multiple things, right? Multiple devices that are connected to it when it's simultaneously on. It's going to, so, you don't need a lot of negative wires going everywhere. You need a lot of positive wires because you have to connect the switches to and the fuses and wara to the devices and where the devices are, and the switches and the can be far away from whatever and so on and so forth. So these are the things that you have to consider, and this is why you have now, when it comes to positive wires, you've got long wires, well, or a lot of wires, let's put it that way, multiple wires running everywhere. While the negatives, really, guys, I think it's best to keep this wires short or to a minimum, just one wire over here, one wire over there to power whatever is needed. Okay, guys, yeah, something that I have to mention. The reason why I use it here at the back of the armature is because um, it's closest to where I want uh, my temperature gauge. I say that actually I haven't finally decided where I'm going to go with it, but yeah. And this is also the reason for having a long electrical or negative wire when I say you should not have one. Okay. But let's go through this quickly. Um, Over here, you will see that's coming from the switch, and this is going into the armature over there with the fuse over there. So, and then this part, that orange, goes all the way to this positive part over here. And then currently we have the signal connected. Um, I don't really see a reason for the negative except for the light. Well, doesn't matter. I'll connect it in any case and see how it works. I'm just going to quickly test it and see if it's working. And yeah, then we can move on from there. Okay, so I had to let the engine run a little bit because when I switched it on, it looked like it didn't work at all, which is sort of part of the plan. Ice cold engine. Even now, 60 degrees, not really very warm. So, but yeah, it's working. That's what I wanted to see. Now I can monitor the engine's temperature. When I started the engine, it didn't show anything. It looks like it didn't work except for the backlight. But then I let it run for a while, the engine, so that it warms up a little bit. And I could see the change in temperature very easily. So it looks like it's working perfectly. A big thing, actually, before you even start the engine, you have to just make sure that no wires goes into the moving parts, and I will have to now get cable ties and make this much neater, not just neater, safer, so that's very important.